Welcome, welcome, welcome to EdUp Accelerated Excellence, a podcast for the advancement of educational effectiveness and equity. Hosted by yours truly, Jacob Easley II, PhD, PMP. This episode was recorded as part of our Inspirational Shorts during the Education 2.0 Conference 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get into it. So I am here with another new friend to introduce to the EdUp Accelerated Excellence community. Will you tell us your name and what your professional role is?
So my name is Dr. Christopher Bonn. I'm a 33-year educator in K-12 education. I'm an author. I'm also an adjunct faculty at California Baptist University. And currently, I'm working as an educational coach that advises ed tech and artificial intelligence firms on how to convert their technologies to assist in education.
Excellent. What's the name of your organization?
Bonfire Leadership Solutions.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit more about, for those who may not know, the sort of details or what your work looks like in a tangible way? Can you just give us a snippet?
So the snippet of why I do the work that I'm doing is because there's major pain points in education right now. Currently, the United States Department of Education estimates that there's 405,000 teacher vacancies in the U.S. as we speak.
Absolutely.
That number is going to double in the next 5 years to almost close to 1 million teacher vacancies. And I work in higher ed. We're only putting out about 100,000 teachers every year, and only half of those are going into the profession. And I'm really worried because the democracy of our people, depends on the education of its citizens, and we don't have the ability anymore to educate our students to prepare them for the workforce and the global economy. And there's a big problem, and I feel that our education systems are going to implode.
Well, we do have our challenges in education for sure. And looking at the teacher pipeline and the career ladder and the supply, and many states are suffering from teacher shortages, so it's a really big issue. Can you give us an example of an outcome or an achievement that really gets you excited about your work?
Well, first of all, I've been working with some AI and tech companies. I shouldn't say ed tech necessarily, because some of them have been medical technologies, military technologies, and transportation technologies that now want to use their advanced features to assist us in developing some solutions to our pain points.
Right.
And so one of the things that I want to say, and I often get shut off of because it can't be that simple, but it really is this simple, is that one of the reasons that our teachers are leaving the industry is because they're doing everything but teaching, because we're putting more and more expectations on them. We have them doing completion reports, compliance log, aggregating data, contacting parents, attending IEPs and meetings, and there is very little time for them to actually be teachers. And so it's very stressful. A good teacher typically will work at nights and weekends and on holidays, often at the expense of their own families, end up divorced, have problems with their health and wellness. And so one of the things that I'm doing is working with schools and the AI industry to teach people on how to use assistive technologies and artificial intelligence to take away some of those pain points and barriers that the technology can do, so that teachers can focus on being teachers, but most importantly to me, so that teachers can be people too, and they can go home and eat dinner with their families.
Right.
And go to the gym and have the nights and weekends and holidays to do things that we want to do with our children.
Right, and they have to rejuvenate themselves in order to be successful educators. We're here at Education 2.0 Conference in Las Vegas. What have been some of your takeaways from this conference so far?
I still think that exposure to artificial intelligence and technologies that are available is still at the very grassroots and tenderfoot level. There's a lot more advancements and quality programs out there that people are just not aware of. I also believe that a lot of people feel that if they just ignore it, it'll go away.
Right.
And that's not going to happen anytime soon. In fact, I would imagine in the next 2 to 3 years, we will see a complete shift in the brick and mortar systems that we're all used to, just because what I explained earlier, we don't have enough staff to maintain those systems anymore. So we have to look at bigger, better, and more efficient ways of doing things.
So you're saying change is needed imminently?
Imminently and immediately.
And immediately. So, Chris, I want to ask you, for those organizations that do similar work to what you do, or for any organization or entity that is in the education field, what advice would you give for them for furthering educational effectiveness and equity?
So I think people need to stop overcomplicating things. One of the problems that I see, and I was a turnaround superintendent, and my successes came from taking things off of people's plate so that they could stay in their lane and focus on the areas that they were the best at.
Right.
And what I see us doing is the complete opposite in industry, in education, and in politics, is that when things get difficult, we add more layers. We add more things that complicate things, and honestly, we make things logistically impossible to be successful. And so what I am asking people to do is find ways to simplify so that people who are teachers, are expert teachers, are teaching and not data processor or curriculum writers. You know, my dad used to always tell me we would never take our car to the dairy to get the oil change, and yet we're making educators do everything that they weren't even trained to do, often at the expense of the things that they're good and proficient at. And so what I'm asking people to do in industry is let's stop complicating things and let's really get down to the grassroots and the essential elements that help organizations flourish.
Absolutely. So make it simple.
Make it simple. In my book, I call it Keep It Vanilla.
And what's the name of the book?
The Bonfire Principles, Ways to Convert Toxic Organizations.
Okay, so we're going to have to check that resource out. So we have spoken with Dr. Christopher Bonn. Thank you so much for your inspiration, and we look forward to connecting with you again in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.